Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us at the MarketSite studio in Times Square, New York City, we have Yorke Rhodes III. He's the Director of Digital Transformation, Blockchain, and Cloud Supply Chain at Nasdaq-listed Microsoft. Yorke is the co-founder of Microsoft's blockchain work, which began back in 2015 and has helped shape Microsoft's strategy and development in the Web3 space. Yorke joins me from Smart Con 2022, taking place in New York City, which brings together industry luminaries from Web2 and Web3, including top thought leaders, researchers, builders, and more. It is great to have you with us in studio. Yorke, welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you. Great to be here.
And how is Microsoft currently involved in the Web3 space, and what is the company looking to achieve?
So we've always looked at sort of innovative technologies as throughout our career as a company. We have a very big focus on developers, obviously, as part of our long ecosystem approach. If you look at the last year, we've actually made 3 investments in the space, which I never thought we would do. We just announced Space and Time at the Smart Con event. We did a Palm NFT Studio investment earlier, and then prior to that, we did an investment in Consensus, which was one of the large boutique consultancies. So it depends on division, right? There's a lot of different things going on at Microsoft.
In a recent tweet, you called the Ethereum merge a moment in history that I don't think we will see again. What made the merge so unique? Has it exceeded your expectations?
Yes, and actually as a developer and understanding sort of developer bug cadences, it was kind of what I expected, just because they had done like 13 shadow forks and actually run through the merge as a test, which is what you have to do when you're doing production rollouts. And so the reason I said that is because this is a transition of essentially an entire organization in one night from a pretty carbon, like bad carbon situation into a very sustainable situation. And that we will not see that in any company, including Microsoft, Nasdaq, or any other company in the world. So that is remarkable to me. It's a moment in history, not just a moment in crypto and blockchain.
So how do you expect firms that were reluctant to participate in the Web3 space due to those ESG concerns to react to the success of the Ethereum merge? Yeah,
well, I think 2 things. One, getting through the merge successfully is removing the risk associated with just doing that. It's a massive upgrade. And then secondly, there are companies that basically would say, well, I can't do this in Ethereum because of the sustainability footprint. And so that in the last couple of years has caused a lot of movement, for example, in NFTs and brands getting into NFTs into other approaches. So this is the base layer of many layer 2s in the ecosystem that are doing other types of work. And I think just changing that base layer out and getting the sustainable footprint is, it opens up the conversation where it was hard to have it before.
So where do you see some of the primary use cases for Ethereum now that a lot of that uncertainty has been removed, especially the huge reduction in energy consumption?
I mean, we're seeing unbelievable uptake, not specifically related to this, but it does remove this huge issue. As an example, like GameStop and Immutable X are just continuing to onboard games and game developers, which is a really interesting lens because of the number of Web2 users who are gamers, right? And I think we're just seeing a real vibrancy in the ecosystem in the last year plus. Yeah.
Do you see any remaining issues with Ethereum?
So there are some stuff on the roadmap. Technology is never done, right? So there is some base layer work that's being done. But what's actually interesting, and if you talk to anyone at the Ethereum Foundation or the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, where I spend my time as a board member, the recommendation for applications that hit consumers is to build in layer 2. So use the layer 1 Ethereum mainnet as your security mechanism, build on a layer 2, which has the scalability and lots of other sort of options for how you might go to market in a consumer-facing technology.
Is this your first time attending Chainlink Smart Con?
No, actually, I've been invited to, and I think maybe speaking at all of them, except for during the pandemic. And actually know Sergey and Ari Jules, who is the professor sort of behind a lot of the great work that came out of Cornell as well, quite some time. So before Chainlink was actually formed.
What keeps you coming back?
It's a very interesting event. Obviously the Sergey and the intellectual capacity of the whole group around not just Chainlink, but also the Cornell professors is really important. And I think secondly, and you saw this in some of the talks, the connection through a Chainlink style oracle between Web 2 and Web 3 is a very significant connection, and it opens up a different conversation with Web 2 companies like Swift and others, right, that is harder to have when you're in specifically a Web 3 developer ecosystem conversation.
Right. I think it is interesting with Chainlink and how they really have leveraged the ecosystem.
Yeah.
That is a consistent theme that I've heard with guests that we've had on the show.
Yeah.
All right, Yorke, great to have you at MarketSite. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.